Okay. So good morning, everyone. My name is Ashraf Mujawar. I'm a pre-sales engineer from Redington Gulf. Today, I'm going to present a specific product which we carry in our portfolio called Entrust. The product from Entrust is Intellitrust, is basically the cloud-based multi-factor authentication solution. Okay, so the mainly topic we have chosen is to how you can assign a secure remote access using the Entrust Intellitrust. And this topic is specifically chosen for by understanding today's situation where everybody is working from home. Yes, there are some guys started working from offices, but still there are a considerable amount of people who's working from home, right? So when they connect from home, when they try to access the company resources, it is very important that we should be giving them a secure remote access so that even they are at home, they are accessing a critical resources. It is very important that they should be accessing those resources securely and of course with an additional authentication. So before I move to the solution, let me quickly give you the overview of a company. So we are actually the innovators in the trusted identities and the secure payment technologies. So Entrust is a very well known organization. Almost, I would say it's one of the oldest organization in terms of a technology development and the innovation perspective. And we are there in the market from almost, you can say, 30 years or something, more than 30 years to 40 years in the market. And if we talk about the solutions we give to our customers and the revenue from the strength of the research and development and the employees, we almost reach to the 34 locations worldwide. It is but if you talk about from the sales and the service perspective, we always have our customers in more than 150 countries. Okay, so pretty much old old organization in terms of understanding the technologies and giving a good part to the world about how to look the technologies in the different spaces. If we talk about what is our focus is from the customers perspective, we have almost the customers from the finance sectors, the e-government sectors, the telecoms, the pharmaceuticals, petroleum. So we have customers all over. So if you see from the finance, we have almost top 20 finance organizations who's using Entrust solutions. There are a lot of organizations, in fact, in UAE and the part of the GCCs are already using the Entrust solutions, including the government, the telcos, and of course the petroleum organizations as well. So if you see from the Entrust perspective, we basically provide a trust, security to a trusted application. So before we go and understand the products, let's understand the basics about what exactly our solution does. We are going to cover a part of an authentication today. Entrust is a trusted identity organization, and they do have a multiple solution carry in their portfolio. For one of the important solution is the multi-factor authentication, which we are going to cover today. So let's talk about the authentication process. So if you try to understand the basic definition of a authentication process, it is a process of determining if someone or something is who they claim to be, right? So first of all, we need to understand whoever is claiming, is it a right person? Okay, this understanding is basically called authentication, right? So if you talk about the same thing which you try to apply the authentication in the digital world, we authenticate using the digital identities, which we're going to talk about it. So let's try to understand what is two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, as actually known as. It is actually the authentication process where 2 or 3 recognized factors are used to identify a specific user. So in a simple example, today we are using so many applications from an organization perspective or from the customer perspective. So even let's say one of the commonly used application in the world is banking portals, right? So when you try to log into a banking portals, or when you try to make any transaction using the banking portal, you always have a first factor authentication as your username and password, which we call it as a something which you know. So you can see something which you know is always your username and password, so which is a unique for every customer, and customer has to remember it, right? So it can be a password, passcode, passphrases, Q&A. This can be easily remembered by the customers because those belongs to them. Now, if you go and see today, having only a single factor authentication like a username and password is not enough, right? So this is where we're introducing the addition of something which you have. So basically, you will know your username and password, but you will also have some device, or you will also have something with you through which your identities will be mapped. So for example, I will have a username and password, okay? And after that, I will have, let's say, a mobile phone. Everybody use the mobile phone. They have let's say, a soft token inside. So every user will have a unique token in his mobile phone through which he will be able to identify himself to that specific application. So even today, when we do any banking transactions, what we do, we enter the amount, we press the enter, we receive authentication code, or we receive a request in our mobile applications, right? We have to approve that request because that application is basically unique to us. And even to open that applications, I normally go through with a fingerprinting, or a pin code or something, so that which only that specific user knows it, right? Which he has the phone. So once he approved that request, then that request will be processed, and then the authentication on authorization process will be gets completed, right? So it is a process of understanding something which you know, something which you have, and also you can there will be one more process where we're going to talk about it. Yes, something which you are. Sometimes it can be your fingerprinting, which you basically use to authenticate those applications as well. You can use a fingerprinting, you can use a voice recognition, iris, or behavior based analytics is also be possible, right? So if you want to understand what do you mean by the something which you have, means you will have some kind of devices. This can be called as a token, hardware tokens, sometimes as a grid card, which can be printed on your on a specific paper, and you can keep it. Sometimes you have a certificate-based authentication where you have a smart cards, USBs, and everything. Even your ATM, which you use today, it is basically a certificate-based authentication, right? And the most popularly is a mobile soft tokens, because everybody have a smartphones today. So you just download the application and you have your soft token which you can download on your mobile phone, and then you will have your own identity for that. So let's try to understand what is the Intellitrust. Intellitrust is a zero trust intelligent authentication solution. It is completely a cloud-based solution. So basically, everything from the management perspective, we kept it on the cloud. So just to give you the little bit heads up, we have two solutions from Entrust. If a customer willing to have the on-premise multi-factor authentication solution, Entrust have a solution called Identity Guard, which is basically an on-premise solution. But if a customer is okay with the cloud approach, they want to go with the cloud, and he wants to integrate mainly a cloud applications and all, you can always go ahead and propose the Intellitrust as a solution. Okay. The good part about the Intellitrust solution is you will have the low management cost, right? You do not there is no server which you need to install your on premises. It is all there in the cloud. So you just have to log into the cloud portal, and then you can start managing the identities. So let's understand why Intellitrust. As I already mentioned, the very important thing to understand, it is a cloud-based multi-factor authentication solution. So it's a ready-made solution. You just log into a portal and start configuring. I'll just quickly show up the portal as well, and also show you how the authentication work. I have a small application which I have integrated with. If you see the market-wise, we are claimed to be a #1 leader in the KuppinGall report in 2019. We provide the password-less accesses. Of course, we have a multiple types of authentication mechanism we support. So we also have the password-led access. So sometimes some customers, we have some requirements where they don't need to use a username and password. They need to completely rely on the smart cards or any kind of something which you have, right? The soft token or something. In this case, we can also go on a password-less authentications as well. The deployment wise, it's a very, very easy deployment. If you want to integrate the cloud-based applications, simply you just need to add it up, add those applications, and with the help of APIs or with the help of a certain kind of radius mechanisms or something, you will be able to easily onboard the applications. And that's something which happens very quickly. Management wise, it's a very simple to navigate. I'm going to show you the management console, so you will be more familiar with that. Effortless use, yes, and we provide a single platform to manage all your identities, assigning the tokens and all your application in a single platform as well. So we provide a trusted identity assurance platform where we will be mainly securing the access. That's a very important part. Who is going to access to those, log into those applications? We secure those accesses. We secure the transactions and sign the transactions. So if it is a organization who is basically involved in any kind of payment gateways and want to achieve a PCI compliances, a two-factor authentication, a multi-factor authentication is something which is required for them to securely signing those transactions and secure the transaction on the fly. And very important is this kind of assurance we support from 3 different platforms. One is, first we establish a trust, then we secure the transaction, and then we try to maintain the trust using monitoring the behavior of that specific user. So first of all, you trust the user, you secure the access, and then monitor the behavior and see to it what exactly the user is doing for the future future readiness of how to deal with this kind of anomalies. So if you talk from the use cases perspective, yes, we provide the higher securities and we perform the multiple use cases. I'm going to cover all the use cases in the further slide. Just to take some points from this slide is, we can integrate with the login to the Windows Macintosh operating system. So logins, authenticate to the VPN are very popular. That is what the topic which we need to take today, since everybody is working from home and everybody is forced to connect over a VPN connections. So we need to secure the identities of the users. So multi-factor authentication would be a very important solution here. We can digitally sign the transactions. We can always have the emerging technologies will be integrated within our existing technologies. How do we do it? We have a multiple capabilities. We do it using the Bluetooth proximity login. So it's mainly, if you want to log in, you can use your mobile phone's Bluetooth and you can save the identities of your environment, that user's identity on the phone. So whenever the phone is near to your desktops, it's automatically understand using the proximity login, and it automatically locks you in. And when your phone is away, your Bluetooth is off, you will not be able to allow to log in. So your phone becomes your identity right now. Single sign-on, we also provide as a part of a single sign-on capability. So once you log into one application, you have another application, you can always log in with the single identities. And of course, we do support broad range of authenticators, OTP, PKI certificates, and list goes on. And onboarding user devices with a trust is a very important use cases. We help users to do the easy onboarding. We do support mobile ID profiling, device reputations, the proactive self-user service password resets, and the multiple capabilities to achieve that. And how do you deal with the advanced threats? Of course, the protect against the employees' errors. It's a very important part. Detect internal frauds, mitigate the sophisticated attack vectors. So we do this using the multiple capabilities by integrating with the CASB solution or web security solutions, perform the continuous authentication for all their applications, following the insight of what exactly happening behind the scenes, understanding the user behaviors, understanding the traffic analysis and contextual elements, and everything we can integrate here. And based on that, we can allow, we can block, or we can challenge the specific access as well. So that's it about the Intellitrust. I just wanted to quickly cover one more part, which is a passcode, which is also give a lot of complement to our Intellitrust authentication service. So if you see the key differences between both of them, it's a leading MFA user experience which you're gonna get it. So it's like a SMS passcode where you will have your own self-learning adaptive authentication. You can do the enrollment from the active sync capabilities, and of course, basically you get the password, SMS passcode by authentication in order to perform the authentication part of it. So user wants to log in. Once they try to log in, instead of having the application or something, and most of the times, this application will be communicating to our passcode, and that specific passcode will be sending the authentication tokens to our solutions, and with that they should be able to authenticate to those specific application wherever they're in the places, right? Similar case, we also we also perform the higher level of encryptions, and of course OTPs are always getting sent securely, and because it is a service which we are giving, you always get a high availability against it. From the deployment perspective, you can, as I mentioned, we support two types of deployments. We also have an on-premise solution. We also have the cloud-based solutions in order to do it. So we have Identity Guard as an on-premise solution, and Intellitrust is a fully cloud. But even in the cloud, you might have a question that if I have an application which is running on-premise, how I'm going to secure that? So of course, this is something we call it as a hybrid deployment. Your management still in the cloud, but you will have a small gateway, the intermediary server between your on-premise solution to the cloud Intellitrust communication we need to establish. So you will have a small gateway, a service gateway, which will be installed on-premise. That will be communicating to your internal application, your Active Directory and everything. And this will again communicate to the cloud. So all the transactions from the on-premise application will be easily managed by the Intellitrust as well. So it's not only the cloud solution which only supports the cloud-based applications. Even if you have on-premise application, we would still be able to secure using the Intellitrust. And of course, if it is a full cloud deployment, you are going to use all the cloud-based applications which you're saying, like Office 365, Box, Salesforce, all this application you can integrate with Intellitrust, and you are integrating with the SMS Passcode, which give you the more secure way of integrating with that specific applications. So let's run into the specific authentication use cases. And guys, if you have any questions, you can always type those questions in the Q&A section, and I will always happy to take those questions after the presentation is over. So one of the first use case is basically remote push for remote accesses. This is something it's very important for today. If you have a VPN, let's say a Cisco VPN, you have a portal, you type a username and passwords, and then today you normally directly log into the company's profile, company's network. The problem with that is if your username and password get compromised, any user who having a username and password would be able to log into the company's resources. This is where we need to very, very importantly introduce the second factor authentication. So just like this, you can see as soon as you type a username and password, he will be asked to enter the the response token, the OTP token, where he can just go to the mobile phone, open his mobile phone, authenticate his mobile phone using a PIN or the fingerprint or whatever the mechanism you want to enable, and then you will see the code which you are seeing in front of the system. He will enter that code, and then he will be only able to log into it. So let's say tomorrow username and password got compromised, still the user would be not able to log in because he will require this OTP token, which keep on changing in every 30 seconds of a time interval. So in the other cases, we also have a single sign-on capability in order to log into all this application. So if you just type the username, okay, you just have to type the username. You get a notification on your mobile phone. You just have to confirm that, and you'll be able to log into that specific application. So this becomes a passwordless, right? So you just need to have your own username. You confirm the your identity from your mobile phone, and you're able to log into those specific applications. So apart from that, we also have a use case for your Windows. So if you have a Windows machines, which you want to secure it with Entrust Intellitrust, you just have to use a similar mechanism. You use a username and password, and then it will ask you to enter the token. So instead of entering the token response, grid response, you can also have the mobile soft token, right? Or the transaction verification or confirmation. So as soon as you enter the username and password, you will receive the notification on your mobile phone. You just have to confirm it, and then you will be able to log into the Windows application. If you don't want the confirmation places, you can always use a hardware token or software tokens, enter the token response, and you'll be able to log into it. That's kind of one use case which you can customers can use it. Apart from that, from the Windows login, as I mentioned, from the Bluetooth, where we will be able to log in from the smart card. You need to have a smart card readers, so you will get your own smart card, printed your name, because Entrust is a data card company, so they also have their own data cards. They can print it, and they can print your name, your organization's name can be printed, and they can deliver it to you, so that every user will have his own identity, so they can use it as a pass. So just use that identity, the plugin, put that card into the smart card, a smart card machine, and then you will be able to log in inside the machine without entering the username and passwords as well. Similar case, you can always use the grid tokens, and list goes on. So we support multiple types of authentications, many use cases. If you want to perform it, you can use a single solution through which you will be able to achieve that. So even if it can be a third-party vendor, the frontline workers, or the external users, everybody can make a use of this specific solution. So yeah, from the offerings perspective, we are a SaaS-based solution. So we hosted on the AWS public cloud. So we perform the multi-tenant, multi-tier architecture. It's a SaaS-based solutions, and it's a subscription-based. You can have the per user licensing, the per transaction licensing here. And of course, it's been widely used by a lot of organizations, a lot of banks using our solution in order to secure their identities. Of course, you get 30 days free trial as well. So you can just go to the Entrust site and say, try 30 days free Intellitrust. You can just try for 30 days, integrate with your couple of applications, and you're good to set up the application and test it for 30 days for you. Okay, so that's it from my side from the presentation. I just wanted to quickly show you how the Intellitrust portal look like. So this is how exactly it's going to look like. When you log in, you will have your own name. We are from Redington, so we have our own portal which has already been set up. I am just going to type my user identity, the username, and as soon as I type, I would be receiving a token, which is authentication token from the SMS. I'm going to type that token. To be a eight numbers token, which you need to enter, and as soon as you enter, you will be able to log in inside it. So as I can see, this solution of mine is basically having one gateway which we have already mentioned, because the application which have integrated is basically in the on-premise, which is currently syncing right now, and it is communicating to my Active Directory. So if I go home, if I actually go to our dashboard, I would be able to see there are 13 users which is integrated from the Active Directory right now. So one gateway, and there is one Active Directory is integrated, which have the 13 users, which is currently a part of my Entrust Intellitrust. And there are two applications which are currently integrated here. One is for my CyberArk Pass solution. It's a privileged account management solution which is currently integrated with Entrust Intellitrust. We're going to see that authentication, how exactly it's going to work out, looks like. And of course, the Entrust Identity Guard desktop is also currently integrated with that. A very easy solution to understand. You can just go to the resources. First manage your gateways. So you can just add your gateways. Adding a gateway is very easy as well. You can, if you want to add the applications, that is also very easy. Just go here, click on this, and this is the application which you are seeing in front of your screen. So these are a couple of known applications which you can see, and you can either use the SAML based authentication, Radius clients or something, and you will be able to integrate with multiple types of applications on a click. Okay, so you can just click on Radius authentication. You can give your client name. You can type the host names, give your company's attribute responses, and multiple types of things which you can configure here. So it's a very easy to onboard. I have already onboarded my CyberArk Pass applications currently, and you get to see the entire activities, who's logging in, who has a failed access, who's getting the tokens, which IP address, the public IP address we are sending currently a token is, through which IP address basically after token has been used, and from which IP address basically currently successfully logging in. So all this information we stores for you. So for your understanding, you can manage the groups, you can create the groups, you can have the users, you can define the roles, which is going to give you the entire visibility of the of your environment. Similar case, you will be able to also manage the hardware tokens. You will be able to manage the software tokens. Everything can be easily managed and given from that perspective, right? You can have a lot of different customizations as well. If you want to change the theme of the color, you want to have a different portal, and the registering of a portal is also registering of a token is also very easy. So you can just go to the users, choose a specific user like mine, and you can just go to the authentication tokens, and you can click on the plus, and you can just assign which kind of token you want. As soon as let's say we are registering a soft token, user who's registered here will automatically receive the email with the entire process of how to do the registration, which application you need to download and everything. But how exactly it's going to look like? So this is my application which is currently integrated with the Intellitrust right now. So here a user with the name of BB Vault is going to type his first factor authentication, because this is how we are integrated. He will type his first factor authentication username and password from Active Directory. And as soon as he enter the username and passwords, he will be asked to enter the token response. Okay, so I'm just opening my application and waiting. I'm connecting over a VPN as well, which slowing down my connection a little bit. But yeah, so this is the token response is basically asking. So I'm going to enter the token response from my mobile phone. I just logged in, and as soon as I enter the token, I answer it successfully. I should be able to allow login to the applications. So you can see I was able to log into the CyberArk application, and with the help of our Intellitrust, I was able to see that there is a successful authentication which is happening. So 1136 is something which I just logged in, and it has the record available here. So the entire recording and auditing information available, which users is login, and you can have a much more things which you can do it from that. Okay, so that's it from my guys. from my side, guys. If you have any specific questions, you can always type it. I'm more than happy to take it. If you do not have any questions, I would just sign off for today. With that, thank you so much, guys, for your time. Have a great day.